Hey, what's up YouTube? Lightsaber Samurai here. I'm back again with another video, and man, this PlayStation 3 stuff has been absolutely crazy. It's been interesting. It's been honestly kind of fun for me to cover all of this for you guys because I'm happy in the sense that a great system like the PlayStation 3 is finally getting attention and kind of getting its just due. I hate that that's causing all the prices to rise up, but and that speaking, there are several games that are really rising right now. I can make two more episodes off of that, but today I wanted to focus on another aspect of this whole thing, and that's that plenty of games for the PlayStation 3 are still dirt cheap, but they might not be for long. So in this video, I'm going to take a look at 5 PlayStation games that you can get cheap, at least for now. Let's talk about it. Okay, the first game on the list is a game that's an exclusive. So exclusives generally tend to rise in price faster than multi-platform games simply because exclusives you can't play anywhere else. And this was an exclusive early in the PlayStation's life. We've covered it before in a Hidden Gems video. That game is Heavenly Sword, and I don't know if you can see that. I got my copy for less than $10 back in the day. This is a really, really good third-person action-adventure game, kind of a God of War clone in the way it's formatted, but in this you play as Noriko. She is on a quest to save her tribe, I believe. It's been years and years since I've played this, but she's out to save her tribe / get revenge from the king, who I think Bohan is his name. In this, again, it is a hack and slash game, not unlike games like God of War, but the combat mechanics in this are done very well. The presentation is really good, and the high production values from Sony, they put a lot of energy in. You can tell they took their time and put out a quality game that I guess people just didn't gravitate towards. This is a game that easily could have been a series of games, but unfortunately this is the one and only time we got to play as this fantastic character, unless of course you play as her in PlayStation All-Stars. But this game is around the $10 mark right now, and because of its status as an exclusive and a very good game at that, when people really start looking into the PlayStation 3 like right now, expect this one to rise in price. So if you don't want to get left out, definitely pick it up right now. Okay, next game. This is another one we've talked about before. And guys, what do I keep telling you? This one here, this is Game of Thrones on the PlayStation 3. But this, I believe, is an exclusive. I don't think this one came out on the Xbox 360. If it did, then grab it too. But this is the Atlas version. There was 2 Game of Thrones games. There was the Telltale game, which is also very good. But then there's this one made by Atlas. In this, you play as a Knight of the Wall in it. Like I said, we covered it before. A really cool RPG in the sense that it plays a lot like the Knights of the Old Republic games on the original Xbox, especially with the combat system. You kind of plug in commands for them to do, and then they'll just carry them out continuously in battle until you switch it up between melee attacks and other special attacks. You've got a set of like 3 or 4 classes to start out, and based on your class, that will determine your speciality with weapons and kind of perks, things you're immune to, things you're strong against, things like that. So this was a pretty good game. It's not the most polished game out there. The graphics are kind of meh, but the atmosphere and the writing, the voice acting, all of that is really, really good. So despite the way it looked, I was still sucked in quite a bit for the little bit that I played. I'm definitely, this is on my list to play through and beat. So if you see this one, I don't know how well you can see that. I picked up my copy for $5 back in the day, and this is definitely going to be one of those $100 plus games on the system. It's actually pretty decent. The graphics is really the only main knock I would give it, but everything else, there's a really good game underneath, and an Atlas one at that. So if you see Game of Thrones, the Atlas version, definitely add that to the collection. Okay, moving on to another game. This one was multi-platform release, so you can get this on the on the 360 if you ultimately find yourself slipping. This game here is 007 Bloodstone, and this one was interesting because this is one of the games in the series that isn't based off of a movie. In this, you play as James Bond. He has the likeness and the voice of Daniel Craig, which is cool. That's one of my favorite Bonds. The game starts out with you trying to intercept a terrorist who plans on attacking a G20 summit, and from there, it basically goes into this whole globe-trotting adventure. You'll find yourself in China, you'll be in Istanbul, Monaco, Rome, a bunch of other places. The really cool thing about this is a third-person action game, so most of the Bond games are first-person shooters. This is a third-person one that was done very well. It's made by Bizarre Creations. This is actually the last game they made before they shut down. But Bizarre Creations also makes was it Burnout or was it Ridge Racer? I can't remember, but they've got experience making racing games, and so the driving sections in this game are fantastic. You'll pilot boats in the classic Aston Martin and just a bunch of classic Bond vehicles. Graphics in this are really good. The gameplay is solid in this. I don't know why this game wasn't more popular. Maybe it was people just having backlash toward Daniel Craig, or I don't know what the deal is, but if you see this, definitely grab it. You can still find it around the $20 mark, and I think it's definitely worth that, and plus a little more, but this is definitely going to be one of the more expensive games moving forward. Okay, here we go. Penultimate game on the list today. This is another exclusive on the PlayStation 3, and it is one of a classic series of games. Why this one didn't blow up, I have no idea. It's Twisted Metal on the PlayStation 3. This is a fantastic reboot. Definitely a reboot done right. We've talked about it before too. It's dark, it's moody, it's gory, and it's the story elements of it very much influenced by horror games. So, you know, the old school slasher flicks of the day. Sweet Tooth is a fantastic character. He's a straight up menace in this. The only issue that I had with this game, and to me it's kind of a big one, it's the fact that you don't get to play as just like a slew of characters like the classic Twisted Metal games. In this, you can play as Sweet Tooth, Dollface, and Mr. Grimm, and they all have their cool storylines, and that's neat. And throughout the levels, you can pilot other characters' cars. So you can pilot like Roadkill's automobile and things like that, but for the most part, they're not in the game, so you can't really play as Roadkill and Axel and kind of go through their stories. And I wish that you could, because that was the best thing about this, is going through the story modes of each characters, and they are live action. Like I said, shot like a horror movie. It's a fantastic story, and I wish we had more of that. I've got the limited edition here that comes with Twisted Metal Black as well, which is also another fantastic game in the series. If you see this one, definitely pick it up. It's under the $20 mark, and Twisted Metal games tend to hold their value and increase over time, and considering that this is the last one in the series, I definitely see people putting eyes on this once they really start collecting for the PS3. Okay, and here we go, the final game on the list today, and this is a fighting game. It was released multi-platform, but why people aren't talking about this one, I don't know. This is Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on the PlayStation 3, and I mean, collecting these games in the past has taught us that the Marvel vs. Capcom series is very much beloved, and the games always rise in price. You know, the Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2 are pretty expensive on the PS2 and original Xbox. And this one, I don't think is going to be any different. The Ultimate version contains more characters, which is one of the big knocks that I had about Marvel vs. Capcom 3 when it came out, considering you had so many characters in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It felt watered down to me, but in the Ultimate version, they added like 12 or 15, something like that, characters. So there's over 40 characters, so it's definitely enough. that you'll find a group of people you like. The graphics in this are fantastic, and the fighting mechanics. It is Marvel vs. Capcom. It's a little slower than Marvel vs. Capcom, the older ones, because those were kind of 2D sprites, and this is moving into the realm of 3D. But I kind of like that in the sense that the hits feel heavier and it feels a little more grounded and down to earth. If you see this game, I picked my copy up for $13.49, and I think it's still around the $20 mark. There's no reason why this game doesn't shoot up in price as time goes on. So if you see it, this is definitely one that you're going to be kicking yourself about later. So grab it today. Okay, guys, I do believe that's all I got for you, but let's talk about it in the comment section below. Questions, comments, concerns, threats. What are some other games on the PlayStation 3 that are super cheap right now that play really well? I would like to know, and let me know in the comment section below so I can snag those up and we can talk about that in the future. If you guys like this content, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe. If you haven't done so already, you'll be glad you did. I do believe that's all I got for you. Lightsaber Samurai out, and peace.